All right. Well, y'all, welcome to another show of Real Talk with Tula Kabone. And if you hear the sound of my voice, you know that God has blessed you to see another day. And are you serving your purpose? So can we get an amen? Okay, we're getting the hand claps. And the new statement is, prayers goes up, blessings come down. You know, we got to keep that in mind. So, and also, you know, I'm going to greet you in the tongue of Swahili, which Habar Gani, and the response is Nzuri. Habar Gani means what's the news, and Nzuri means good. So today, I'm blessed to be before everybody today. Also, I appreciate that. Also, I want to thank God Castle for giving me the opportunity to be on this platform. So, you know, the topic is today, and I'm paraphrasing if I'm correct, have America been fair to the black man? And what drives me to this topic is because, you know, I was at the drugstore today picking up some medicine. So I seen a brother sitting there, a young brother, sitting on the sidewalk. And I'm just studying him, not in a negative sense, but in the sense of what's going on with this brother. And it reminded me of me, a younger me, when I was struggling. And he was just sitting there like he's wondering where his life is going and what he's going to do. And he began to have a conversation with self. And then I looked at his pants. He had a rip at his knee. And he looked like, you know, y'all remember the old parachute pants. And he just sitting on the ground. Nobody's by him. So, and then he ate a sandwich and he kept talking. And at some point in my mind, I'm thinking, what drove him to that type of despair that will break his soul that bad that he would be so bewildered about life that he sits on a corner by a block or a market that he don't own, but in his community, trying to figure out what's his next step. So I had to begin to reflect on history, the black man and the treatment of the black man in America, and understand, you know, I love and respect my black women, but I feel like after I get finished with this conversation, everybody will know why I particularly singled out the black man. The black man, African American, so there's a difference, and oftentimes I have to explain the difference. There's a difference between black people and African American people. African Americans were enslaved in America, and black people came to America. Meaning, for instance, some of our people come from Jamaica. You know, they weren't enslaved in America. Some come from Africa. And if you look at the news networks, a lot of the news networks are hiring African people, not African American, African people. Look at their last names. So they didn't go through the pain and suffering that African Americans went through on the continent of America. In fact, African Americans are the only culture, right, ethnicity that was enslaved on the continent of America. So I had to be distinctive because sometimes when we meet black people who's not African American, they tend to have a different agenda. They don't respect what we went through, even though our ancestors went through what they went through so they can get what they got. But they tend to separate themselves, and they believe in this hallelujah moment of America's not racist until the racism bite them in the butt. Facts. Now all of a sudden now they believe in racism, and then they want to lean on us, meaning the African Americans, to push them through the totem pole. So I had to distinguish that because I'm talking about the African American male. I'm singling out for a particular reason. The African American male started on the shores of America through slavery. A majority of us. 1619, Jamestown, Virginia. We started with a bill of sale. Every African American male that exists in America who answers our last name is from a slave owner. Listen, let me repeat this. Our last name is from a slave owner, right? Because black people were slow sold to white people and taken upon as property. So if my name was James, or they gave me a name, say my name is Tula Kabone, they want to bring me over to America and Americanize me in a way that manipulates my culture or get me to try to suffer or take away my culture. They named me James Brown. So now I don't have to look no further than the Browns to know that I was enslaved. So that's what bothered me sometimes when people say, well, how you know you was enslaved? I said, well, they ain't got no James Brown in Africa, so go figure that out, right? I said, you don't see no Chinese people named James Brown. They got their name. So it's not hard to figure out if I've been enslaved. Just look at my last name and my genealogy, because they didn't have those names in Africa, and they still don't have them in Africa. Thank you for the hand clap. So from the beginning, the black man has always been viewed as a threat to the institution of slavery, because those who enslaved black people know that the black man had the masculinity and the ability to rebel and shut down slavery. So the concept was, right, to get the sisters to tame him so he would not act outside what they call his nature and rebel against them. So what the sister said, baby, let that go. Let that go, we need you. When he should have rose up and became a lion. Don't do that. Or what the slave master did, he did something called buck breaking. A lot of people they don't even know about buck breaking, right? And I did a film on it on my radio show. They got a whole film on buck breaking. Go to YouTube, put in buck break. Buck breaking was a system set up by slave owners where they took the strongest black man, because what they would do is call all the slaves together, right? It's like your mom and dad calling all the children together while they spank the baddest one in front of everybody. They stomp their guts out in front of all the children. Now the children going to say, man, I don't want to make mom and dad mad. The slave owner called everybody together. They took the black man, the strongest black man, stripped him of his clothes. They flogged him and beat him till he was so weak he couldn't move. And then they raped him, literally. They literally raped him in front of everybody, demasculized him. And then they sent him off to BAM. So now the brother broke. He broke. He don't even know how to function. First of all, you done really took his manhood. And now everybody looking at him like, wow, they did. So that was an intimidation tool that he's telling you, okay, whatever one of y'all tried to do what he did, this is what I'm going to do to you. So what brothers do, oh, man, I can't deal with that. So then you created the house Negro, the super bootlicker, right? Because they were afraid to rise up. Then you had the sisters saying, we don't want that. Even though the slave master raping her every night. Come roll on top of your wife and say, come on. Or take your daughter who's only 12 years old and rape her. Facts. This was happening. But the black man, you can't do that. Or he's so scared because they done put fear in him. The African spirit of strength done left him. And they made sure nobody was there to educate him so he can have that strength in his mind to be psychologically strong. They surrounded him with weak thinking people who was afraid to encourage him to stand up. And he didn't. Right? Facts. This is facts. This is facts, what I'm talking about. So then you have Nat Turner, Dick Marvexy, and all them rose up. But you had brothers who did rise up. But at some point, there wasn't a system there to support what they were doing. Facts. So now you broke the brother's spirit. So now psychologically, the brother messed up. He don't know if he a cat or a lion. He don't know if he a dog or a rat. He don't know how to function because his manhood was shaped by slavery. Facts. So when you program him, he's gone. He don't know what to do. He don't want to talk to Minister Farrakhan. He want to go talk to David Duke. He don't know how to function. He been taught to stay away from brothers like Minister Farrakhan, Naeem Akbar, Henry Clark, James Baldwin, Tula Kabone. Stay away from them brothers. Don't do that. We want you to hang around RuPaul. We want you to hang around brothers like that. And I ain't knocking RuPaul. But there's a certain thing that we need masculine brothers in our neighborhood to bring us up out of the psychological condition that we are in. Facts. I said that. So now let's move on. So-called abolishment of slavery. Before the abolishment of so-called, well, let me share this with y'all. So I know nobody knows this just about. April the 16th, 1862, your illustrious, your great, not mine, great President Lincoln, some people submit that he's great. He signed a bill to give slave owners reparations if they freed their slaves and was friendly to the Union. He gave them $300 per slave. That's a fact. Abraham Lincoln was a segregationist. In fact, you want to know what he told the Union? When they was trying to separate from the United States, the South and the North, the Revolution, he said, hey, I don't care if y'all keep the slaves. That don't bother me. I just don't want y'all to break up the Union. Y'all can keep slavery. That's a fact. And when they went to Virginia and attacked, I think, Fort Sumter, that's when he said, okay, because that was the last southern holding point in the South. That's when the war started. So all this, he went to war with slavery. Matter of fact, go to YouTube and look it up for yourself. Why did the South go to war with the North? And did Abraham Lincoln say he didn't care about slavery? And watch that video. I showed the video on my radio show. So anything I say, I show receipts. He said that. Facts. I appreciate that. So all that bootlicking and buck dancing for Frederick Douglass, for Abraham Lincoln, y'all need to stop doing that because he wasn't a great emancipator. He had to free the slaves. You know why? Because all the white men was dying in the Civil War. And if all the white men died, guess who you got left? You got the brothers. He figured that out. Hey, man. So let me tell you about this. The great leader of the Union Army, can't recall his name right now. There's something called Ebenezer Creek. A lot of the slaves who was escaping from the South, I think it was in Georgia, if I'm correct. Georgia, Texas, they was leaving. You can look that up on YouTube too. You look up Ebenezer Creek. They was escaping. So the Union leader, I think it was Sherman, if I'm correct. He had the slaves build bridges, get them over. And then the Southern Confederates started following them. Guess what they did? When he got all the Union soldiers over the water, he pulled the bridge and the slaves were left to die. It's called Ebenezer Creek. This is a fact. Under Lincoln, he did that, right? So whenever you're talking to me about how African Americans in general and African American men was treated in America, don't come with the malarkey. Let's deal with facts and not fiction. What I just said really happened. Thank you. That's a fact that happened. Let's move on. So after the so-called freedom, the Emancipation Proclamation, freedom of the slaves, Juneteenth, all that, the prison system began to rise for black men. So they said, okay, hold on. We need somebody to man these plantations, Abe. And now at this point, Abraham Lincoln was gone. Hey, man, we got to have somebody man these plantations because y'all done let all the help go and us can't do that. So we need them to do it, black people. So they said, oh, okay, I know what we'll do. We'll start arresting them. We'll start putting them in prison and renting them out back to the plantations. Boom, that was it. So they started arresting black men for fictitious reasons. And the prison population boomed and renting them back out to slave owners. And those they did not arrest, they would come to you and say, hey, listen, we need you to work at Bill John's plant. I ain't doing that. Oh, you don't want to do that? We're going to find a reason. But you can sign this contract and sharecrop. We'll let you sharecrop there by force. Listen, they telling you, if you don't do this, there's consequences to suffer. You think in your mind, okay, I'll just cooperate. So they start sharecrop again. They locked him in on a plantation, right, again, and the sheriffs ignored what happened. So now you done create a whole system of slavery again. You done recreated slavery under a system that was supposed to be advantage for black people. This is a fact, what I'm saying. So now all these brothers that went to jail, they even created laws like laundering. Now, when you was a slave, you could launder all day. They ain't care nothing about your laundering. As long as you were doing what you were supposed to do, then they created, so they was arresting all these brothers. That was the first prison boom of black men, period. And they began to demonize us. I was watching Martin Luther King, and if you get a chance, watch this. Martin Luther King did an interview in 1967 with NBC News. I think it was 8 or 9 months before he was assassinated. And they said, well, and the guy asked him, well, why do you think, why do you, and I'm paraphrasing, what makes them hate black people, and paraphrasing. He said because during slavery, they had to thingify a thing, which means that in order for them to justify the mistreatment of black people, they had to make people think because of the skin color of black people, they were bad people. And based on that thing, that their skin color was a curse and so was their existence, you should be able to mistreat them. Do not, and I'm paraphrasing, look at them like human beings. And who else backed that up? Willie Lynch, Jamestown, Virginia. He was a West Indies slave master who came to, he came to the banks of the James River. I'm sorry. Watch this. He said, hey. I think it was 1712. Hey, I want to tell y'all doing it wrong, man. Y'all killing all these slaves. You ain't gonna do that. You take the youngest slave, turn against the oldest slave. You take the light-skinned slave, you turn against the light-skinned slave. You take the fat slave, you take the slave with the most money. You implement all these plans for them to turn against themselves, but they only trust you. That's a fact. This is a fact that happened. Google Willie Lynch and see what you find out. This is a fact. So when I look at all this stuff, and I'm just looking like, wow, man, they really have bamboozled black people, particularly the black man, psychologically to be a failure because they made the Frankenstein that we're not dealing with, right? So I'm like, wow, what's going on? So with the Willie Lynch plan, in effect, with the fact that they are incarcerating us, with the fact that they can lynch you at will. In the South, we had a saying, only if the forest could talk, only if the woods could talk, the story they would tell about all the black people whose bodies is in that forest that never came home. Nobody ever seen. The police participated in the killing of black men. This is a fact. We see lynchings of black men all the time on pictures. They smiling. The people are happy, and not one person was ever prosecuted for killing a black man. Not one. For lynching a black man, there's never been one person prosecuted for that. Have America been free to the black man? Emmett Till. Let's have a talk about Emmett Till, young black boy, 14 years old, 1954, 1955, in Money, Mississippi, whistle supposedly at a white woman. They go get him out of his house, take him, kill him, find him in the water. 14 years old, the white men who killed him got arrested. And not only that, they issued a warrant for his wife that was later discovered. And they never arrested her, even to her dying days, which I think was last year. They never they never arrested her. The sheriff said she was too pretty to arrest in 1955 and shit too. But the moral of the story, they had 12 white men on the jury, and they found him not guilty. The boy was 14 years old. And I tell people this story. So when they come to me and talk about, no, that's the worst crime ever happened of a child, I said, no. You must have forgot about Emmett Till. And not one organization outside of black people has ever raised hell about Emmett Till. Emmett Till, they should have a law passed after him for child abuse. His name is barely spoken in the history books of America. Fact. What they did, what they did to Emmett Till was horrific to a 14-year-old child. Horrific. And they ignore, because he was a black male, they ignore him. Facts. So have America been fair to... 1919, they called it the Summer of Red. When American black men was coming home for, I think, World War I, you know what they was doing? They was lynching them in their uniforms in the South. Facts. We talking about black men. This is a fact. Right? So you have to ask yourself, from a realistic aspect, have America really been fair to the black man? So let's move it all the way up to nowadays. 1960s, the black man said, okay, we're going to start organizations, SCLC, Black Panthers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. We're going to start fighting for our rights as a people. The Black Panthers was one of the strongest organizations there was. Them brothers started that organization. They was under the age of 25. And they was powerful. They made a big difference. Government said, hey, J. Edgar Hoover, they the number one threat to America. How? While they was in California, they had an open law where you can carry guns. So the Black Panthers said, okay, we going to the capital of California with the gun. You know what they did? They say, we got to change that law. And they changed the law because the Black Panthers went to California, the capital of California, with their guns. They changed the whole law so they couldn't do that. Facts, they did that. That's a fact. So J. Edgar Hoover said, okay, they the number one threat. We're going to start an organization called COINTELPRO, where we're going to infiltrate these organizations, and we're going to make sure that we tear each organization down. So what they did was they infiltrated, sent brothers in, brothers like you and I, you know, sisters like you and I. Let me put it out there, brothers, because they primarily use black men. I ain't never heard no black woman being a part of COINTELPRO. Black men were sent in there for the sole purpose of infiltrating organizations under false pretenses of power to the people, and they will run back and tell the FBI everything they were talking about. Fred Hampton, everybody know about Fred Hampton. He was assassinated, December of 1968? I think it was December 2nd or 4th, 1968, Fred Hampton was assassinated. You know what betrayed Fred Hampton? William O'Neill, his key bodyguard. You know who his bodyguard was working for? He was an informant for the FBI. They recruited him while he was in the county jail for stealing a car. The Chicago police and the FBI. He put something, they gave him something. Watch the movie, Judas the Black Messiah. It explains everything. And they put something in his drink. And that man went to sleep. And the police came in because William O'Neill told him how to infiltrate his house, right? Told him exactly where he slept at, and they killed him. When they shot his room up, he was still alive, and they shot him in the head in front of his pregnant wife. Fact. He was betrayed. There was over 3,000 informants that had infiltrated the Black Panthers and was sharing information. And all these organizations that you don't see existing now was infiltrated. That's how the organizations got tore down. Now, the Ku Klux Klan was infiltrated too, but they still in power. The Ku Klux Klan is still around. It must be a lot more racist, unfortunately, it must be a lot more racist white people. That it's not racist, it is racist, because they still functioning. We see them rising their head up again. But what I'm saying is a fact. So we've always been the target. Now, then we had the war on drugs under Nixon, which is code word language for get black people. They would take a black man, and if you got caught with a joint in the 60s, they would bury you in prison for one joint, which is marijuana, for those who don't know what a joint is. Marijuana. They buried you in prison. What are they doing now? If you get caught with marijuana, you can go to the dispensary and buy it. You can buy it now, but guess what? A lot of black people don't know dispensaries. But the ones who made the suffered the most got the least. Most dispensaries are owned by somebody who is not black. You can buy it legally now, but it was illegal in the 70s, right? One joint, they was, let's get a war on drugs. It was really a war against black people. Facts, this is what it's really about. So when I see it now, I just cringe. I cringe. Because I be seeing brothers and they skipping in there, getting their weed, happy and happy and happy. And I'm just like, man, do y'all really understand what's going on? Because if you put that in your mouth and your mind gone, family, you can't even function. Facts. You think they gonna give you something that can help you? Now they got some medicinal stuff that helps with pain and all that. I dig that. Right, I tell you because either that or pills. So I come from a sick family member, who dab with that. I get it. That I get. But when you just take it and you blowing in the air the smoke, and you had ancestors in the 70s, man, you know what they was doing to black men for weed? For weed, one joint. They was sparing them, but they had to find a way to figure out how to lock black men up. Then we had the 80s. Let's talk about the 80s. The so-called crack epidemic. You got a group organization called ALEC, A-L-E-C. Check it out if you get an opportunity. Go look, if you get a chance, YouTube, the 13th Amendment. ALEC is an organization that was started under Ronald Reagan. It was an organization started with corporations and Republican politicians. They came together and they wrote laws and put the laws and gave the laws to politicians to pass to punish black people. One of the laws they had, well, guess what? Stand Your Ground law. The law that Trayvon Martin got killed under was written by ALEC. 3 Strikes You Out was written by ALEC. Under ALEC and the Reagan administration in the 80s, the prison boomed because they realized one thing. Oh, well, see, we lock them up, man. That's $35,000 a year per person. So now the black man found a new thing that he was a part of. Now he's getting locked up for, 2 crack rocks got you, 10 or 15 years. But if you're white and got caught with powder, they popped you on the hand. But you need a powder to make crack. And they said, well, yeah, that's true. But we ain't going to talk about that, right? But my question... My question has always been, how did the crack get to the black neighborhood? See, half of us don't even go past 8 Mile. You know what I'm saying? We don't even go past 8 Mile. But this is real conversation. And I'm laughing at sarcasm and serious at the same time. So now we had the crack epidemic. So then the prison boomed. So they realized that and a lot of people don't understand why they was giving brothers astronomical amount of time. It had everything to do with finance. Do you understand that prison systems help build the up-north economy? Because they hire prison jobs. Prison people wouldn't even be having jobs up there. They probably would be farmers. If it would not have been for the prison system being able to build a prison, pay them money to keep black men in jail. Now they got a job, they got economy, they got benefits. They Gucci now. They good. A lot of people don't understand that. Then we had the 1994 crime bill. Oh my God. 1994 crime bill was treacherous. They put more money into police and prison, people in the community, particularly the black men. So we just kept going to jail. Now people looking at you, when they see you, they looking at you as your crack dealer. If you wore any blue jeans, any hip-hop type stuff, if you had a beeper, they thought you was a crack dealer. Because as Martin Luther King said, the thing had been thingified. Because the image of black people, the black woman, and I'm going to add this in right quick. The black woman has always been viewed as something that's has an attitude. She likes sex. She's always trying to be a welfare queen, which came under Reagan. Reagan created that, the welfare queen thing. When statistics show more white people get welfare than blacks, that's a fact, because you got more white people than the population of America. Makes sense, right? So Reagan created that. Then the black man, he is. When they had a movie come out. People don't know about this either. They had a movie come out in 1915 called The Birth of a Nation, written by J.W. Griff. And in The Birth of a Nation movie was about the Ku Klux Klan rising again in America. And what it depicted, it was the first silent film that ever blew up. The president at that time, I think it was Woodrow Wilson, showed the picture in the White House, so-called White House, right? He showed the picture there. He said it was history written with light. History written in lightning. So, and what the movie depicted was black people in position of power, particularly black men, in position, and they was acting like children. They couldn't run the country. In fact, they had on one of the scenes on there, they had a black man supposedly chasing a white woman. Now, these white men with paint on their face. She jumped off a cliff because it depicted a black man wanted to create some type of violence on her. Now, this is what one of the images, that's what the image of black people, black men being violent, really took off. Right? And I ask black people sometimes, when you see a black man, what do you see? Ask a black man when he look in the mirror, what do he see? What do he see? What do he think of himself? What have he been programmed to think of himself? Did his mama say you just like your daddy? You ain't no good. Your daddy wasn't no good. What you think you telling that little black boy? When you tell him his daddy ain't no good, your daddy a jailbird, you gonna be a jailbird too. What are you programming him to think? Your daddy was a hoe, you a hoe too. Right? Because let me come home, because black people, we at fault too. We at fault too. Because we're not teaching black men how to be black men. We allow for them to be degraded. We think it's okay to degrade a little child, a boy that you raising, cussing at him, slapping him upside the head, telling him not to do what he need to do to be a man. You make me sick. How you gonna tell a child that, a black man? What did you think he gonna date somebody and marry somebody just like you? Then you know what you're gonna say to you as mama? I hate how she treats you, but mama, you treat me the same way. How you gonna hate somebody I'm gonna emulate? I got a friend right now. He is in an abusive relationship with a sister. You know why? Because his mama treated him the same way. So in his mind as a black man, he's conditioned to believe this is what it's about. And he has the mentality of a feminine woman. He can't make decisions on his own. He don't know how to stand up. But he's learning now because I breathe life in him. But after that, facts. And I fought our people for that. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We have to accept some responsibility for that. But let me keep going. So now we got the brother, Michelle Alexander, famous author, wrote a book called The New Jim Crow. 2014, she was doing a speech in Chicago. And this is what she said. She understood that the system was set up to intentionally target black men to get them felonies. That's a fact. 1 out of 3 black men go end up in prison, probation, and incarceration. How can you make that prediction if it's not already pre-planned? Facts. You got 1 out of 3 white boys. I know I have talked to white friends. That's males. They have did so much crime. They just showed a white guy on Channel 2 News last night. He breaking in people's houses in Grosse Pointe while they go to funerals. And he got a long history. I said, black people can't get past the first 2. They're going to give you probation. After that, you're going to jail. Right? And if you get too crazy on jail, you out of there. They're going to send you to prison and bury you. And by the time your family see you again, half the family done died out. You don't know what to do. They don't know if you're going to come back as James or Lucy. Right? Because you've been feminized in the prison system. Facts. This is a fact. Right? So there is a different treatment of black men, but it's targeted. So let me tell you what else she said, because I want to really, I want to really push into this subject, because this is really deep right here. She said that 70 out of 100%, of the professional black women in America will not date. They are dating in an interracial relationship. Not that I knocked that, so let me put that out. I don't care about that. Because I just told you about William O'Dell, how we was infiltrated by our own people. So I'm not a person on that. People know me about that. Black women who was in a profession would not date a brother who has a felony. She considered him undateable. So then what she pushed off to, she's pushed off to date somebody else in another race. First of all, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So I put it to a test on my show. Me and the sister was having conversation. And she was like, I hate when brothers date white women. I said, oh, y'all know. Okay, there you go. Oh, there it is. We finna have this conversation on God Caustic. Y'all know how it goes, sister. Come on now, let's have a conversation. She said, I hate when brothers date white women. I said, well, okay, I understand that. I said, so what if the brother works at McDonald's, has 2 children, but he's trying to get himself together? Oh, he's undateable. I said, he's undateable. So you wouldn't date him. Well, he's broke. He don't have no money. Oh, okay. So now when you see him with the white woman, you mad because you ain't going to date him because he ain't got no money. And the brother may have been framed while he went to prison, or he got a felony conviction because he was pushed that way because the community did not teach him how to be a productive black man in his community. So now you don't want nothing to do with him. So now when you see him with a white woman, y'all mad. He all cut up, buffed up, got himself together. You don't know he was locked up. You think that he got rocked up like that and you mad. Then you find out he been in prison. I can't do that. So where is the black man supposed to go? Dating wise. And I'm throwing this out. Inbox me. Inbox me at you there. Where's the black man supposed to go, sisters? Because we you know what? We can't help but love our sisters. Because we came from a sister. But the thing is the sister reciprocating the love to us. Right? Now, let me tell you this. Black women love a black man if he a thug, he a rapper and a thug, went to prison, he famous. They love him then. He got, I love, you see all the women start because he got money. He looks good, But a brother in the hood who went to the store, he just he working at McDonald's. I don't want to have nothing to do with you, but I'm going to holler at my man. She trying to have his baby. But she don't want to have nothing to do with my man, John, who just got out the joint, trying to get himself there, or even just poor. He might have even been in prison. He just poor. But he needs you to do what they used to do in the 60s and the 50s to black men. Black women didn't care what your economical status was. They loved you. And if a woman has the power to build a man. Facts. And if the white woman touch his soul, that brother gonna get it together. Because she going to say, hold on. Because, come on now, we know how mama was. Mama could calm the beast in us, boy. Brothers, we could be, man, I want. And mom said, hold on, baby. Mm-hmm. Right? Women got that touch. They got that touch. They'll calm the common beast in us. You know what I'm saying? And if she the right woman, she going to build that nothing to something. She ain't going to ignore him because she understands one thing. That black man has been beat up by America so bad that he wants to give up. He's in despair. He don't know what to do. All he know is that he want to be better than what he is. And his pleasure that he thought he found in a woman in sex, that's just momentarily. His pleasure is when he becomes successful, he create his own mind, create his own business. He see the success of it. He's able to build with somebody and share those riches with somebody. That's real success as a man. But the woman, she looking at his material because they've been brainwashed through it. And let me tell you what they're doing now. This is a fact. They're ignoring black men, particularly, and I'm going to say this, right? I got to say this. Particularly the Democratic Party is ignoring black men almost in its entirety. And what they have done, and so let me put this out. I'm not a Republican. I'm not none of that, but I am a truth teller. They have taken the black woman and they pushing the black woman and ignoring the black man unless he feminized. right? If the brother's gay, they're going to put you out there. You think I'm lying? Go to MSNBC. Go on MSNBC and tell me how many strong black men they have on MSNBC. How many strong black men they have on CNN, right? How many black men strong do they have on Fox News? They're strong. James Evan type brothers. They can stand on principle, speak truth, stand on all 10, stand on business. You don't have that. You had that in the 70s. But you see a lot of sisters on there. They'll put them on there. Laura Coates, right? Abby, what's her name? They all got shows on CNN, right? They got them on there. But they ain't going to promote the black. And black men are starting to wake up. So you know what Donald Trump said? This is what Donald Trump said. Hey, I got something for y'all, black men. I recognize that weakness that the Democratic Party is doing. So now you got all these brothers talking about, whoop, there it is. I'm going to vote for Trump. You really think Trump going to give you anything out of some gold shoes and some eggs and tell you to beat it? Right? Instead of us creating our own thinking as black men, because men are creators and producers when they are under the right tutelage to make it. They can change and do it. You know how I know? Because I did it. Let me tell you about my history so we can understand what I'm saying. I bear witness to it. When I was in 1st to 4th grade, they put me in learning disability class. They told me that I wouldn't be nothing. They didn't tell me, they taught me that. The teachers didn't teach me that much. So I became an athlete in school. So by being an athlete, I was a great athlete. Right? So and all the shunning everybody else dealt with, I didn't deal with that. My mom and dad didn't have no clothes. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. We was homeless. Our lights was cut off. I didn't have all the stuff everybody else had. Right? But my athleticism got my clothes to be hid. But one thing my mom and dad did have, they told us to stand all 10 when we tell the truth. They told us to have integrity. My dad taught us to have hard work. And all my brothers and sisters, if you meet me, you meet them. We all think the same. We rock the same way. People like, man, y'all came from some good parents. No, we come from parents who was in poverty, but they taught us morals and principles. The same thing I'm saying that we can. My mama never said to me, you like your sorry daddy. My mom and dad never used the N-word in my house. That's a fact. Now, I ain't saying we came from a perfect family, but one thing my mama did, when it was time to be a bull, she was a bull, she said, come go with me. Mm-hmm. And she didn't bow down. My dad was a hard worker. He had one leg. That man still would go out there and make sure the family had something to eat. Talking about in the dirty South, where poor poverty is real. So when I'm speaking from experience. I self-educated myself. I surrounded myself with brothers who helped birth me mentally. Went to college. So I've been there. And I wanted more than what I had. My dad told me, hey, you're going to be you don't like getting your hands dirty. You're going to go to college. You're going to be a businessman. So from there, he cultivated that thought in me. Just from that conversation. Because my dad was my boy. Like my dad want to go fishing. I'm with my dad. He said, you going to do that. And it stuck with me. Now, what if he said, you ain't nothing? You're going to be a pimp. What you think would have stuck with me? Words have the ability to create and destroy in men. Words have the word. Men ain't like women. Women can take all type of emotional. You can say what you want. They'll sit and argue with you. A woman can argue with you for 4 hours straight. She ain't going to shut her mouth. You know, she can take things. Then she come back. So I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to say all that to you. I'm so sorry. I didn't even say that. You know what I'm saying? Because she's emotional. Brothers don't know that women are 98% emotions. Women are 98% emotion. Men, we get mad. Oh, man, she said that to me. They go, man, I'm tired of her running her damn mouth. I'm tired of her. So we get upset. But what she said to you, this is what women don't understand. What you say to your man cultivates his mind. And we made 2 different ways. Men can't easily just walk away from those type of statements. We really digest that in our souls. So now your woman said, you ain't nothing. You just like that other I used to date. Both of y'all the same thing. So when she come back and say she's sorry, he's still thinking about that. Now he making the wrong decision because y'all fighting. Now his man say, come shake that bag, fam. You hear your girl say, you lazy, you ain't gonna do nothing, you sorry, this and that, but she mad. She upset. She upset at something else that ain't got nothing to do with you, because black people are taught to transfer anger. We transfer anger because slavery taught us to do that, because we couldn't strike out against those that was oppressing us, so we take it home and transfer it to the people that look like us. Even though we ain't mad at you, then we're trying to say women particularly, women famous for it. Oop, there it is. I'm sorry, babe, I just had a bad day. I didn't mean to do that to you. But the brother like, damn, what I do? Now somebody like Tula Kabone, I'm cool as a fan. I'm saying, okay, blow it off. Go ahead. Yep, everything you say is cool, baby. No problem. It's okay. I ain't mean to do that to you. I just blab, okay, no problem. Because I understand the psychology of what's going on. I was taught from a different cloth, right? I was taught how to deal with my people on every level that exists. Facts. But if a brother don't know that, a man, he want to punch in the mouth. That's what happens. The sister don't know. That's her defense mechanism, but she going through things too. You think black women, come on, man, don't even get me started on that. Don't please. Now, I might have to do a whole show on that. What she go through. But today we talking about the black man. But I'm just saying, so now the Democratic Party said, okay, we're going to put y'all out there. We're going to create something called Black Women Magic, right? And I see these sisters, and they just be flaunting it. And I'm just like, well, what a brother. What happened to James Evans in Florida? What happened to James Evans? Because let me tell you, in that household, James Evans, that was like my household. My dad was, hey, man, and my mama, they rode together. They rocked out together. It wasn't Floyd. They talked, hey, well, baby, I want to do this. He said, well, no, I don't think you should do it. And she listened. It wasn't one person control. Now these sisters, they done made them think, as a woman live, hey, y'all don't need a man. Said, y'all can be on your own. So when they get about 40, 50, they buy themselves. Hello? Going to bed, they got a dog. I got a dog and a cat. You got new cars, you got new house, but you by yourself. Facts. But let me tell you, and I'm going to say this with respect, because I was talking to somebody. I might have watched their video. And please, sisters, don't be mad. Please don't throw nothing at me, but I got to put it out there. White women going to find them a man. White women going to find them a man. Mm-hmm. Right? They ain't like sisters. They can have all the money in the world, but they ain't got no problem dating Tyrone and Tiga just got out the joint. Matter of fact, she finna invest in it. Right? She finna invest in it. Right? The sister throwing it to the trash. You look at my man driving a new car. You're like, damn, where that come from? Now she done put a business in the hand. And then the first thing you say, there you go with that white girl. Oh, there it is. Facts. But you had a chance to listen. But you had a chance to invest in the brother, and you didn't. Yep. You had a chance to, and why didn't you? Because you've been programmed to slavery. This man is scum on the earth. So the white woman scoop, man, y'all know what it's like. Y'all see it in the hood. Damn, I can't believe. Look at what he with her for. That white girl. You know why? Probably because y'all probably kicked him to the curb. You know what I'm saying? Are you really going to date the brother? Let's have this honest conversation. Are you really? The brother ain't got no, he just busted, but he wants more than what he has. And he wants somebody to believe in him. Sisters, and Michelle Alexander, and I see it, man. I see sisters with Jeep clubs, and I'm just like, please, sisters, you got black woman magic. Why can't you say black man magic together with black women? We build something. Because society is programming us, the black men to go to the Republican Party for whatever reason, because they can't go to a Proud Board meeting. You remember January the 6th, they was running there with Confederate flags. You think you're going to go to a Confederate meeting? Please, you're probably going to be the one to get lynched if you think that. So now they dividing us. But I want sisters to know, hey, man, brothers out here. You see a brother, I open the door for him, they look at me like I done slapped them. They looking at me crazy. I'm like, damn. You don't say thank you. Then you look at it. They ain't got to say what you're looking. It's the look they gave you. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay, let me turn my head. I was going to ask how you doing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, hey, brother, how you doing? I say, hey, sister, how's your day? I see some, oh, how you doing, brother? They don't do that. It's not welcoming. But, and that's what we got to understand. The value, listen, what our black culture don't value, other people will. Other people, other cultures value and understand the strength of a black man. Whether you believe that or not, that's a fact. Fact. And they do that because you see them, how they got us working jobs and doing stuff like that. Even Tula Kabone, who came from mud. We came from poverty. My brother right now has the #1 drywall company. So I'm telling you, with the right psychological profile and make you good. I was watching a movie, The Great Debaters with Denzel. You get a chance to watch that movie. And he said that Willie Lynch told him, hey, you program the slave. You take the mind, you let them have the body. You take the mind, you let them have the body. And what are we doing now? We fighting against each other. Brothers fighting against each other. Brothers be on the basketball court, they want to beat each other up. Talking about this is my house. You don't even own the gym. You forgot? You don't own no part of the gym. They could trade you tomorrow like you a slave. Period. Eliminate black men from sports, basketball, even in college. Eliminate black men in college. Most of the people that go to see the games are white students. They don't have, they'll show their parents waving. Hey. Because we don't know, man. We got to create our own future. We got the ability to do that. Even if you poor, man, you take them. I see brothers working in the car wash. They clean the car wash like they own the car. I said, man, go clean on your own. You got people at the church, man, go work for them. Hey, Mr. Jones, I'll be the cleaner. Let me detail your car. Man, I'm taking 2 days off. I'm finna go make that bread. Mr. Jones, give me $50. Give me some stuff. And that's how you start your own business. We was taught that in the South. We was taught how to work and do for self. You can't, if you think the school system is good, look at the school system now. In the 1960s, we was talking about education. In 1970, 2024, guess what we talking about? Education. Do you think they really gonna uplift the black man out of his condition? Some of us work, by the time we get our check, the whole thing is already owed out. We done figured all the bills out and everything's gone. So now you borrowing money until the next week after that. Black man, which we supposed to be the provider, the protector, and the producer of the family. And brothers, let me leave y'all with this. If you are in a situation with your girl where you arguing, man, ignore her, bro. And if her mouth is too reckless, leave out the house. Sisters, y'all got to stop degrading that brother in front of his children. Calling him a punk, a hoe, and all these names you calling him in front of his 2- and 3-year-old son or his daughter. What you think? How you think the daughter gonna look at the dad? Because you shaped that mind to be that way. So now when he say, you better respect me, or your dad getting home, man, I don't want to hear that. You dog daddy out too. So how you think I'm gonna respect daddy? Right? So now you created that environment of disrespect. Instead of saying, hold on, let me talk in the room. We're going to go talk in the car. Hey, Mom, can you watch the children while me and my man go have a conversation? Then y'all go in the car and yell it out. Y'all don't yell this out in front of the children. What kind of man, what do you think your son is going? I seen a brother. I talked to him. You know what he told me? He said, man, I don't respect my dad at all. I said, why you respect your dad? He said, because my mama treated him like a dog and he let her. Facts. In fact, he said, I had to get on psychotropical drugs to help my mind deal with what I was seeing. Facts. So women, y'all got a lot to play in this too now with cultivating a black man. Instead of you frowning at the brother sitting on the corner, hey man, can I buy you a sandwich? How you doing, sir? And no matter what kind of car you got. Because at the end of the day, will you be alone by yourself in there with the dog named Fido? With your cat, your 5 cats that you got? Or y'all gonna have a girl party and none of y'all married? Ain't none of y'all married? How many professional black women ain't married? They in their 40s, don't have no children because they want the perfect man. I want my man to have a college degree. He got to have a whole lot of money. His body got to be cut up. He got to have a nice car. That you done already took half the black man out the picture. You want the finest man. You want him with how many other women want him. Then when he's a hoe, you get mad he was a hoe. But you know he was a hoe because he got it when he was somebody else. So let's not play this game. Just respect us as men, because I've gave you just a small history of how black men have not been respected in America. Every time we come out the house, our prayers from our mamas, our families, our girls is going up because we hope prayers come down. And some of them brothers, Trayvon Martin, walked to the store. To the store. Emmett Till went to the store. I keep on about brothers they killing to this day. They're not killing black women. Only one I know about, Sandra Bland and the other sister. They killing black men. Brothers like me that's strong, you know, whoop there. But I know how to, hey, man, okay, no problem. You, hey, man. I mean, because I'm not an aggressive brother unless I'm forced to be. Because I work out 7 days a week, family. And I punch the bag, too. You know, so let me, I'm just saying this, you know. But I'm just saying, man, we have a part to play when it comes to cultivating black men, black boys. We have a part to play. And sisters, if you don't have a man in your house, then you find a man help raise that son. It's okay, go to the church, right? And if the church digging ain't right, then you find someone. There are boys, they got the Boys and Girls Clubs. Send him there so he can know what it's like to be a man. Women think, I want y'all to, if you can, you listen to the sound. Go to YouTube and look up a Black Woman's Guide to Understanding Black Men, the interview with Shahrazad Ali. What she told them, she said, when a black man is raised, and I'm not knocking sisters, so let me put this out here. When he's raised by a woman solely, he has a lot of feminine way. And I see it. First thing the sisters say, oh, girl, I'm over here raising a man. I got to raise him. Now I'm his mama. But his mama raised him. But that's what you wanted. You want a guy to do everything you want him to do. I tell sisters, sometimes you need to find you a robot. You need a programmer, have to do everything you want him to do. I tell brothers the same thing. If a person is in a relationship, because I'm not, listen, I put this, I tell people, I don't care about any relationship. That doesn't bother me at all. Because when I studied the history of the 60s and all these black, all the stuff that happened to us in the 60s by our own people, wow. And you think they ain't doing it now? Come on, man. Some of us have told other people stuff that was black. They done betrayed you at the drop of a hat. You can't even believe it. You say, man, I thought you was my friend. So I don't get caught up on that. But what I do get caught up on is integrity, realness, and truth. And being who you are. All right, y'all, my show is almost over. Tula Kabone bought it today. Whoop, there it is. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give shouts out to the brother, the minister, the Nation of Islam. I want to end it with this, that when I went to the Savior's Day, there was not one fight there. All them brothers were together, young and old. You didn't smell weed. You didn't see no cussing. There was no rapping. But of course, they ain't going to tell you about that on the news. And it was over 4,000 or 5,000 people there.